Hello, friends. This is Smart Week. Today's episode features an incredible Atlas who is learning to be a padawan at a construction site and who has even mastered the side flip. Hyundai introduces a new style of crab in its cars, a robot that uses self-balancing EVOBOT technology, which can move loads and accelerate up to 10 meters per second. It will also use laser lightning redirection technology and a bladeless JETOPTERA engine that will accelerate the flying plane to 613 miles per hour. All this and much more now. We begin today's episode with German scientists showing a prototype robot that can modernize warehouses and distribution centers. It is similar to the handle robot from Boston Dynamics, but surpasses it in almost all characteristics. The prototype is called EVOBOT, and it can maintain an upright position using what's called the mobile inverted pendulum principle. Simply put, the lower part of the robot is constantly moving forward and backward. To keep the weight of the top centered, the EVOBOT has two support legs with drive wheels at the bottom, as well as paired gripper arms with inward-facing, disc-shaped pads at the ends of the grippers. This makes it possible to lift and hold all kinds of loads. The developers promise that there will be several versions of grippers, which will allow the robot to be flexibly adapted to work with certain types of loads. When the robot is not carrying any load, its grips are lowered and locked along its body. In this position, it can lean forward or backward and move at speeds of up to 10 meters per second. Another feature of the robot is its ability to assume a horizontal position. The grippers are equipped with small wheels, which allow it to be used as a support. EVOBOT can press against the surface, leaning on four limbs, and in this position, pass under obstacles. In contrast to a robot, the handle of the Boston Dynamics, EVOBOT moves cargo not with suction cups, but by fixing them between its grips during the process, determining the necessary compression force to lift and hold the load. It can also work not only in the mode of lifting, moving, and lowering, but also in terms of motor power for moving various non-motorized objects on wheels, such as carts. It can push them in front of itself or pull them behind itself. Currently, it is being used as a testing stand for new self-balancing robot technology, but it can also be released as a standalone commercial product. We present Boston Dynamics' humanoid bipedal robot, which continues to amaze us with its tricks. This time, the robot went to a construction site where it deftly retrieved and handed a bag of tools to a human. The Boston Dynamics robot has been able to do somersaults for a long time, but interacting with objects is a new skill in its arsenal. In addition, he can now twist a challenging side flip, as well as a parkour side flip, which is a more complex movement. Over the past few years, the robot Atlas, developed by Boston Dynamics, has developed excellent movement coordination. This robot appeared about 10 years ago, and even then weighing 196 lbs, and roid with 28 hydraulic joints surprised with speed and smoothness of movements. Atlas also has the ability to keep his balance while performing acrobatic tricks. Now his skills have acquired a more practical expression. Atlas development team leader Scott Quindersma said, "We're not just thinking about how to make the robot move more dynamically in the environment like we did with the parkour and dance videos, but now we're thinking about how the robot should perceive and manipulate objects in space." A new video shows that the robot Atlas can make a difference. At the command of a tablet, he is able to hand tools to a colleague. The task is complicated by the fact that the builder stands on scaffolding, and to get up to him with a bag, the robot must first build bridges and climb steps. He does it all with a certain grace and elegance. Afterwards, he decides to go back another way, jumping from the bridges to the box, from there to the floor, doing a side somersault. Behind the ease of Atlas's movement is a huge work of engineers. They have to analyze the smallest nuances of human movement in order to reproduce them in the robot. Before lifting an object, the robot has to estimate its mass and size, comparing it to its capabilities. Judging by the video, Atlas is now able to quickly and naturally interact not only with static objects, but also with non-fixed objects, which can be moved and used for their own purposes. Yes, the actual use of the technology is still a long way off, and the engineers at Boston Dynamics are well aware of that. However, thanks to the generosity of the company's new owner, the South Korean giant Hyundai, the developers have no problems with financing and tight deadline. Speaking of Hyundai, Koreans have presented a conceptual crossover based on the model Ioniq 5. Its main difference from the serial sous vide was the presence of the corner module, due to which all four wheels are capable of turning at an angle from 45 to 90 degrees, and they can do it in different directions. As a result, the electric car is able to drive sideways and turn 360 degrees on the spot. The module itself combines the wheels, their drives, and suspension and brake elements. At the same time, the engineers note that this is the first time they have installed the system on all four wheels. Previously, the technology was tested only on the front axle, with the electric car driving sideways at maximum wheel rotation. The authors of the technology note that this makes it possible, for example, to park in a car space barely longer than the length of the Ioniq 5 itself. To turn around on the spot, the driver only needs to turn the wheels at a 45-degree angle in different directions, front and rear. Despite the obvious advantages and applications of e-corner for urban operation, there is no information on the appearance of such a system on production vehicles yet. Nevertheless, there are already similar solutions on the market. For example, on the G-Mac Hammer electric pickup, the Crab mode allows driving diagonally. As is well known, the most common lightning protection today is the lightning rod, known from ancient times, which diverts the discharge from the building by directing it into the ground. However, a lightning rod is effective only in a limited area. If a large complex, such as an airport or wind farm, needs to be protected, an invention of French scientists would be more appropriate. This is the first demonstration of the technology's performance in real thunderstorm conditions. Scientists from the Paris Polytechnic Institute went to the top of the Zentis mountain in Switzerland to conduct their experiment there. They set up laser equipment near a telecommunications tower that is frequently struck by lightning, about 100 times a year. The tests were conducted from July to September 2021. The lasers emitted short, intense pulses of infrared light at a frequency of around 1,000 times per second. The scientists configured the laser to form an electrically conductive channel slightly exceeding the height of the tower. This allowed the lightning rod to intercept the discharge before it reached the laser equipment and the tower. With the laser turned on, 4 lightning strikes occurred, one of which occurred during relatively bright daylight and was captured on camera. The images show that the lightning strikes descend in zigzags, then move along the laser-defined channel for approximately 50 meters before entering the lightning rod. To track the trajectory of the other 3 lightning strikes, the scientists observed the radio waves emitted by the strikes, and their trajectories were also altered by the laser beams. If this invention becomes practically applicable and its effectiveness increases, it could be used not only for lightning protection, but also for generating electricity from thunderstorms. So what's Smart Week without space? U.S. aerospace company SpaceX is preparing for the first ever orbital test flight of Starship this week. A prototype super heavy lift launch vehicle called Booster 7 with a prototype Starship ship. 24 spacecraft has been installed on the launch pad at the Starbase spaceport in South Texas. In a video shot using a drone and posted on Monday by the company on Twitter, which has already received 2.5 million views, you can see how the installation of a 50-meter prototype ship was performed on a giant first stage with a length of 70 meters. This is not the first time that the Booster 7 and the ship 24 have been assembled together on the launch pad with the help of a 140-meter crane with a rotary construction for lifting and holding the rocket and ship, and their assembly was carried out twice in October. The assembled space system is so large that it can be seen from space. Hey seniors, we are observing you from space, wrote the aerospace company Airbus on Thursday in their account, adding a photograph of the spacecraft taken by one of the satellites of the Pleiades NEO. According to SpaceX CEO Elon Musk, the launch of the ship 24 can be carried out in February or March. The spacecraft will make one orbit around the Earth and then land in the Pacific Ocean near one of the Hawaiian Islands. In turn, the Booster 7 will land on an autonomous marine platform in the Mexican Gulf off the coast of Texas. Now let's go up into the sky. American startup JETOPTERA is developing innovative aircraft that are based on the same principle as ducted fan engines, which create airflow using a turbine and compressed air. The compressed air passes through narrow openings located on the inner surface of the flat propulsion units. These surfaces are designed as wings and perform the same function, creating a low-pressure vortex in the center of the loop. When a stream of compressed air passes over them, the low-pressure vortex plus the vortices created where the airflow interacts with the surrounding air suck in 15 times more air through the loop than is supplied through the compressor. This increases the thrust accordingly. The main advantage of such a system is efficiency, according to the company. The resulting thrust is 10 more and fuel consumption 50 less than small turbojet engines. Compared to turbofans or turbofan engines, it is 30 lighter and consists of fewer parts, thanks to a contract with the U.S. Air Force, JETOPTERA was able to build and test the main elements of the propulsion system. In addition, JETOPTERA built a smaller prototype for the Pentagon's vertical takeoff and landing high-speed competition, which has already been tested in the wind tunnel. The company predicts that the machine will be able to reach speeds of Mach 0.8 or 613 miles per hour. This is about twice as much as the fastest rotary wheel aircraft can achieve. The design is expected to be launched in the next 6 months. And the end. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more tech news, and don't forget about the like and subscribe.